Welcome everyone to the Irwindale Sim Series, the second race of 10, or I believe in this case it would be, the correct term would be event, but nonetheless, qualifying is underway for the first of two late model twin events. And of course, tonight it's going to be quite interesting. Again, two late model twin events, both of them going to be 50 laps. They will be starting off the night and ending off the night. And then right after this, we will have hopefully the Legends running 35 laps, and then the mini stocks, the Mazda MX-5, running 30 laps. So 50, 35, 30, and then 50. These super late models were absolutely amazing. JD Laird currently in the pole position, as David Krikorian now is starting to put in his own lap time at the moment. So we're going to see how he does, and you can see that wonderful paint scheme, absolutely amazing. He's going to use the apron, actually. We've seen drivers do that in the street stocks. Well, last week the drivers did that in the street stocks, 2 weeks ago, I should say. And now he's currently first on the board, and he may just call that a done day. And that looks like that will be the case. Layla Wilson currently in 8th place position as of right now. This is Layla's first of 2 laps as of right now. And down to turns 3 and 4 for hopefully maybe the last time. A little bit loose off turn 4 across the line. This time by no dice, unfortunately. 0.3 slower, so she'll be in 8th place. 0.3 slower with an 18.198. The last driver that has not yet qualified out of this what appears to be a 9-car field is Joe Cohen, so it's going to be a 10-car field as of right now, provided that Joe Cohen is here. So now 1 minute remains, and we thank you for tuning in. Of course, just to reiterate, this is the Irwindale Sim Series. 4 events will be running here today. I am Gary Weaver, and of course this is going to be a very, very exciting 4 events that we have on tap. So just once again, 2 late model twins, both of which I will be starting and ending the night with 50 laps apiece, so 100 total. Legends for 35 laps, and then the Mazda MX-5s for 30 laps. So Layla Wilson running some practice times. Krikorian just sitting over on the pit road as of right now. I have a chance. Let's ride on board with Layla Wilson to see what a lap around Irwindale Speedway is like. So getting used to the track is the number 12, Layla Wilson. Nice paint scheme. Great combination of colors. You can see that suspension completely crunch off in the middle of turn 4. We welcome everyone that has tuned in. I'm going to be welcoming you to, again, a 4-event race. This is going to be absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to get this underway. So as of right now, qualifying is over. We will bring up your starting grid. Starting on first on pole will be the number 66 of David Krikorian with a 17.584. JD Laird starts 2 hours outside with a 17.685. Next in row at number 2, Brandon Hoff with a 17.765. Case Brinksma will be starting in the 4th place position. And unfortunately, this is only going to be a 9-car event, as Joe Cohen apparently having some issues, so hopefully we'll see him in the Legends division after this. Thomas Mole Jr. will be starting in the top 5, rounding out the top 5 in the process. Matthew Largan starts in 6th, just behind, I believe, Just to double check. Or more over to the 16s outside. Apologies for that. Davey Scoville would be starting in the 7th position. And then starting 8th, who we saw, Layla Wilson, tried to do a great attempt at putting in as best a lap time as possible. And then John Quinn will be rounding out the field in the number 91. Joe Cohen, unfortunately, nope, scratch that. He is here, right there in that number 81, that nice green and white machine there. Well, it appears to be a Ford Fusion. That's to me, or that's just the front bumper. So we get a secondary look at close camera angle. Can't really tell. 2 pace laps. Let's see if we can get a that appears to be just the front bumper. It's a very similar grill to the Ford, though, so that probably is also a Ford. So nonetheless, starting on pole is going to be the number 66 of Kikori. He was very dominant last week in about 3 divisions. It was absolutely amazing performance. You'll be seeing all these drivers, all 10 of these drivers try and battle it out for the best position possible. Ford Mustang GT pace car pulls off to its safety of pit road, leaving the field in control of David Kikorian in the 66. The 70 of JD Laird starts to his outside. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out as the 66 is on the pedal. We are underway. Already off to a great start at number 66. JD Laird in second. Case Brinksma in at 3rd place as of right now. Looking to the inside of the 16 of Thomas Mole. Trying to find some way around that number 7 as best as possible, using that apron to his advantage, or maybe using that as a way to drop back through the field, playing it safe throughout these first few laps. A little bit of a problem off turn number 2 for Davey Scoville. Looks like he got into the outside wall ever so slightly, or at least loose off turn at number 2. Side by side, heavily loose off is John Quinn. He manages to hang on to that out of turn number 4. Goodness gracious, that 91 was all over the top lane of that racetrack. Surprising and amazing job from the save. Here comes Matthew Largan to the outside of the 16 of Mole Jr. Trying to find some way around. You can see the brake rollers in the 16, at least the front tires, they are glowing heavily. That's how hard these drivers are on the brakes. We're only 4 laps in, coming to 5 now. You can see them on the 51, the 91 as well, almost into the back bumper. Looks like Quinn is going to move out of the way, down to the low side. So it looks like he will get out of the way right now, maybe slip in front of the 16 of Mole Jr. He does exactly that. So now Kikorian in first, Laird second. Brinksma still in third. He's got Davey Scoville and Brendan Hoff behind him as they enter turns 3 and 4. A bit of a distance, but Layla Wilson has a nice little bit of a gap between Matthew Largan. Matthew Largan is the next gap to John Quinn. That same goes for Quinn to Mole, and Mole to Cohen. So right now, almost on top of the back bumper, plus that number 9 of David Scoville. You can see how Brendan Hoff is really close and really loose off the corner. Was a 36. That was a very close call, and already we're almost with 10 laps to go. 9 moves his way up as the 36 gets loose on the inside off turn number 3, turn number 2. Now the 7 is going to be trying the offensive end right now. Matthew Largan trying to get around to the inside of Layla Wilson, doing that as of right now off turns number 3 and 4 into the middle of the corner, almost slides up, makes contact in the process. Seven of Hoff looking to the inside. Looks like Case will let them by. And looks like Matthew Larkin finally makes his way around the number 12 of Wilson. Laird's still trying to catch up, or at least stay with Kikorian. He's doing a great job at the moment. Scoville in third. Brinksma down to the inside. A little bit of a lower line this time around. And into the outside wall. He goes on the front straightaway. That's going to hurt his performance. He's acting like it didn't even happen, though. He's powering through that as much as possible. A little bit of sparks on the back straightaway there. Just a little bit of a tap. Doesn't seem to affect his performance as of right now. You can see how close he was there on the front straightaway from that camera angle. That was insanely close to the outside wall. Goodness. And I think John Quinn got loose out of turn number 2, or else he wouldn't have dived up the racetrack like that. Just from out of frame, he came diving up the racetrack, but right now he's trying to put some pressure on Wilson as best as possible. Quinn looking to the inside in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He makes his way to the inside. This is for position at number 7. John Quinn doing the best that he can to get up to 7th. Can't really find the momentum on the inside as of right now, but he does make his way by through turns 3 and 4. Advantage by half a car length. Layla Wilson doing a great job trying to stick with Quinn on the outside. Quinn seems to have a better run through corners 3 and 4, however, this time around. Takes that low exit, gets the momentum off the corner into turns 1 and 2 once again. Side by side for 5th up ahead of these two. 51 of Larkin trying to make his way around, and he does. Brinksma a little bit loose, and Quinn makes his way around for 7th. So Matthew Larkin up to 5th. Case Brinksma fell back to 6th. Quinn made the pass on Wilson. I saw Brandon Hoff get a little bit loose off turn number 2 there. "31 laps to go." These laps go by very, very quickly. Hoff a little bit loose off turn number 2 once again. Still hanging on to it, but here comes Larkin now, who is on a charge through the field as of right now. This is for position number 4. Almost a little bit of contact, maybe just a little bit of a touch through the doors. You can see right front damage there. Larkin started 6th, a little bit loose on the inside, coming off turn number 4. Did a great job to hold on to that position, though, at least the inside track position-wise. And into the wall of turn number 2 is Case Brinksma in the background. He's still going forward, and look at how close that contact was. That been devastating for both drivers. A lot of mid-pack action. You can see through our ticker that position number 2, J.D. Laird, he's 1.6 seconds behind David Kikorian, who's just now making his way by the 81 of Cohen. Back to our mid-pack battles who have that has seen to sort itself out. You can see on the top middle screen 1.749. As that has changed now. You can see the difference right here, almost 2 seconds. And again, those were the drivers' fastest laps, I believe. Nope, that were their drivers' last laps, actually. I was looking at the wrong tab. So Scoville up to 3rd in the number 9. Larkin in the 51 up to 4th, and we're halfway through this already. And well, right when I say that, we're already on 24 laps to go. Laird already in pit road. Scoville just now making his way off turn number 4. Larkin following suit with Hoff. Brinksma may be under fire by Quinn in just a few moments. John Quinn doing the best that he can. He started 9th, up to 7th right now. Could be up to 6th, and then get 3. Almost contact off turn number 4. A little bit loose again. It's Case Brinksma. Unfortunately for that number 36, he's been pretty loose off essentially this entire race. Seems to have had a pattern, but then unfortunately just lost a crossover possible by the 36. Dives to the inside now. Can't get the momentum, unfortunately. So Scoville up to 3rd. Apparently, very quietly up in 3rd. He did start 7th, and he just slowly and quietly made his way up here, once again, to the podium position of 3rd place. But unfortunately, Matthew Largan has other plans. Of course, he's currently sitting in 4th right now. I'm pretty sure he plans to change that as quick as possible. Lap time comparisons last time around, you will see on the driver comparison. 18.7 versus Matthew Largan's 18.5. We'll see what they come to this time around. 18.577, 18.484. Largan is roughly about a 10th faster. 18 laps to go now for the 66 of Krikorian as we're watching this battle for 3rd place unfold. Largan to the inside for 3rd. Trying to find some way around that number 9, a little bit loose off maybe a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Doesn't appear to be. You can see Largan, he's using the lower line now, trying to find that same momentum that Largan has. Loose off the corner heavily was that 9 of Scoville. Scoville luckily did manage to hang on to it. Trying to fend off the 51. They make contact. Scoville sideways in turns 3 and 4. Keeps it semi-straight, essentially. But unfortunately, he'll be very, very slow. He's going to get passed by the 7 of Hoff. And now he's going to do it with a crossover move. Again, this is for now 4th place position. Here comes John Quinn for 5th. Trying to look to the inside. Great save by the number 9, but unfortunately tried to protect that inside position. Went down just a little bit too low. Just one of those racing deals as per usual. Happens every once in a while, or usually every time you try to protect any position. Goodness gracious, that was close by Hoff. He almost got into the 91 trying to save it. Sliding up in front into 5th place is John Quinn. You can see sparks come off the right side. The number 7 on the front straightaway. They're all this David Krikorian and J.D. Laird. They've been running 1-2 pretty much this entire race. Case, unfortunately, currently 7th. He started 4th. Had a relatively good day, but unfortunately, though, he's going to have to settle at the moment for a position number 7 finish, and that looks like it will be set in stone. As you can see by the ticker at top, Layla Wilson, unfortunately, same with Joe Cohen. 1 lap down, also with Thomas Moll Jr. Not sure what happened to him. We'll figure that out once the race is over. And you can see, look at this is where David Krikorian is. Here's Case Brinksma. There's Krikorian. So these drivers are essentially going to get pretty much a lot down, aside from J.D. Laird, who's got a fair bit of a distance, but unfortunately for Case, he will be falling a lap down next. So will Joe Cohen. Only 9 laps to go for the number 66 of Krikorian. Next up on the lap down list is unfortunately be Case Brinksma. You could be seeing some of these drivers, these 4 through 6 drivers. Dave Scoville 4th, 5th John Quinn, 6th Brandon Hoff. You could be seeing them make some late race moves as Krikorian now laps the number 36 with 7 laps to go this time by. And Number 66 is on a roll, making a great statement compared to last week. Last week he just ran with the race as much as possible, did a great job, and took the win. This time around, no cautions in this race, as nobody has really wrecked. We had a near caution. But as of right now, Kikorian doing a great job setting a very, very quick pace and a very, very large statement. 2,000s faster last time around was J.D. Laird. As you can see our comparison. Well, scratch that. That was the best lap, actually, so mistake on that. You can see, though, nonetheless, that 0.2 faster is Kikorian. Next up on the letdown list, we could be essentially ending with about 5 laps to go. Goodness. Hoff was loose off turn number 2, like there was pretty much ice or something. He's losing grip in those tires, unfortunately. 3 laps to go for the 66 who gets in. No, that's the 7 that got into the outside wall. Unfortunately, again, and unfortunately for him, he definitely does not want that to happen. 2 laps to go for the 66 of Kikorian. Pretty much leading ever since this race has started was the 66 of Kikorian. Can he get... Well, it looks like he will lap one more driver as we come to the final lap, this time by. Number 91 of John Quinn is in 5th place. This will leave 4 drivers on the lead lap. Well, maybe not loose off in the inside lane was Kikorian. This essentially is a race to see if we can get the top 5 on the lead lap. That will not happen. Kikorian comes across the start-finish line and wins the first of 2 late model twins here tonight. It's a great job to the 66 of David Kikorian to win this race, and of course it's the first of 2. Will he set another? Will he win the next race in the process, as Squall also burns down the front straightaway? So your finishing results officially for this late model division is David Kikorian finishing 1st, J.D. Laird 2nd, Matthew Largan 3rd, Davey Scoville finishes 4th, and those are the only drivers that were on the lead lap, as John Quinn almost finished on the lead lap, but unfortunately got passed in the final corner by David Kikorian, so he will finish in the 5th nonetheless. Brendan Hoff finishes 6th, 7th Case Brinksma, 8th Layla Wilson, 9th Joe Cohen, and the 10th is Thomas Mull Jr. We're going to see what happened with the number 16 of Mull Jr. Not quite sure what happened with him. It's quite interesting to so we're going to find out, so stick with us here for a few moments. Next up should be the Legends division, so it's going to be very, very exciting to see what those drivers have in store in the Legends division. And it looks like that they've been this from the number 16. He just went to pit road, actually, and parked it, so he may have had an internal mechanical issue or something else must have happened, so quite unfortunate, but nonetheless we will still be rolling on. Hopefully Mull can recover from that and then move on for the next race, which is up in just a few moments. So of course you're watching the Racing Line and Broadcast Network, the Irwindale Sim Series here, and stay tuned, don't go away, as we have, I believe, the Legends coming up next.
My name is Steven Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
We are back live here at the apologies for that. Not sure if it came through or not, but once again, you're watching the Irwindale Speedway Official Sim Series, the official iRacing series of Irwindale Speedway. You're currently watching, obviously, up next, I should say, is the Legends Division for 35 laps, Mazda MX-5s for 30 laps, and then we end the night with how we started the second late model twin late models for 50 laps. And of course, just as a reminder, up next on Sunday, pretty much in the middle of the day at 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time, will be the My Turn Racing Series week number 2 at Gateway for 75 laps. It'll be absolutely exciting. And then, of course, the Tuesday on that very same week, which is the 26th of Tuesday, has the Roaring Thunder Racing League, the feeder series. Its third week heads to Rockingham for, I believe, it's 133 laps. Oh boy, that's going to be quite interesting, especially having it being Rockingham Speedway and essentially pretty much bumps galore. It's going to be very, very exciting to watch. As right now, some drivers are practicing on the racing circuit. A few more drivers, I believe. We have 3, 6, pretty much essentially the same number of drivers. Still 10 drivers. And of course, just double checking our schedule, which of course, if you want to know whenever we're live, subscribe and then of course hit the notification button. And I believe there's another setting that YouTube has added that requires you to hit some sort of setting that does not notify you occasionally but all the time, and that is for in this case live streaming for this channel. And of course, that same week, next week, on this very same day at 10 o'clock, roughly 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, as we will show you the cars practicing on the track as of right now. Just going to, once again, double check our side of things. Of course, next week, this very same day, will be the AMS Octane Race Products Dirt Series on the 27th. So, 24th, June 24th, we have at 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time the My Turn Racing Truck Series for Gateway Week 2, 75 laps. And then we have the Roaring Thunder Racing League for, I believe, what will be 133 laps at Rockingham Speedway for their third week. Should definitely check it out. We have a driver on a winning streak right now for the first 2 weeks. Jeremy Horn doing an amazing job as right now. Definitely 133 laps. And of course, June 27th, the very next day, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, roughly around there. It is subject to change. It will be the AMS Octane Race Products Dirt Series for their finale at Lanier, for what I believe it will be roughly about 30 or 50 laps. There's, as right now, not a set date. And then, of course, the Irwindale Sim Series is done for at least this month. They will be back on July 11th. Normally, it would be every other week, but of course, if it did fall on that schedule, then we'd be racing on the 4th of July. So we do have that week off for this series, at least. Roaring Thunder Racing League is on July 3rd, so we may see a slight decrease in terms of if people do actually choose to travel if they do race in that series. Nonetheless, though, as we will wish that to you now, happy Independence Day, and we hope you enjoy that. But right now, as we turn our attention back to this series and its excitement, if you will, goodness gracious, that's a little bit of near close contact. Qualifying is just about to begin. That's going to hurt in the morning. Again, you're watching the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. I am Gary Weaver. And of course, up next will it be the Legends Division for 30 laps. So qualifying will currently be underway. It is no doubt going to be a very, very exciting session. As right now, it looks like we will have Jeffrey Stanton taking his first warm-up time. So we'll see what he does this time by, as he's already started his lap. So we'll see essentially his time in just a few moments. But as of right now, he is currently first across the board, a 15.709. And he gets moved to second by Matthew Largan, who's in first place. But now Jeffrey Stanton, can he improve on that lap time as of right now? No, he cannot. It's 15.769. Case Brinksma takes over the pole position with a 15.470. Matthew Largan finishes his lap time at a little bit of a problem. Richard Orr also coming across to finish his lap time. J.D. Lair 7th across the board. Brendan Hoff starting his lap time. He takes over the pole position, knocking Case Brinksma to the second place position, still in the same row. I believe that was Brendan's last lap in the process as well. And I think he just decided to call that done. John Quinn is starting, or I believe finishing his lap time in this case. Across the board, he will place in 6th place position, 15.660. David Krikorian takes over the 1st place position. That now brings him over to the 2nd row, 3rd place. And no improvement, unfortunately, for the 66 of Krikorian. But fortunately for him, though, he is still 1st. Joe Cohen just sitting in pit road. Looks like he will now choose to run his qualifying session. Or his qualifying attempt, that's what I should be wording it as. So come across and start that out lap, his warm-up lap, essentially. It's a very quick warm-up lap, however, as he's already on his timed lap. So coming through turns 3 and 4 across the start-finish line, this time by 9th place. Can he improve on that is the question. Davey Scoville yet to qualify. Through turns 3 and 4 across the line, 15.6, 8th place. 15.687 is now his new best lap time. And that may be it for qualifying. So, of course, we will be going over your starting grid as of right now. As it does not look like, unfortunately, David Scoville will be qualifying. Brendan Hoff, though, he's still sitting in pit road. So we will see where everybody lines up here as of right now. Starting in 1st place, that's incredibly wrong positioning in terms of graphic. Let's see if we can get it to show up like this. If not, then we apologize for it. We do have it though, however, so we'll show it on our results. Davey Scoville, actually, he's coming out to qualify. We have David Krikorian, Brendan Hoff, Case Brinksma, Matthew Larkin, Richard Orr, John Quinn, Layla Wilson, Joe Cohen, and Jeffrey Stanton, Joshua Hart, J.D. Laird, and Davey Scoville is currently setting in his lap time as of right now, taking the very inside course. And that will go against him. He does have at least one more attempt, however, his last lap, which essentially is also his final lap. We will reset our overlay software and we'll get his time back up as quick as possible. So no lap time officially set yet by Davey Scoville. Coming across the line to finish his lap, a little bit loose off turn 4. That lap time will not count. Nope, scratch for that will. 5th place, a 15.524. So now that we have reset our overlay software, let's hope this works correctly, and it will. David Krikorian will start in the 1st place position with a 15.348. Still showing off that dominance that he has been setting for a marginally extended period of time over the past, essentially, 2 races that we have done. 2 events, in this case, 2.5 after this event. Brendan Hoff starts second with a 15.404. Row number 2 has Case Brinksma in the 3rd place position, 15.478. So that's a 470. Matthew Larkin not far behind, 0.015 seconds off in the 4th place position. Rounding out the top 5, Davey Scoville, after he finally set in his lap time after letting everyone else qualify first. Richard Orr starts in 6th. 7th, John Quinn. 8th, Layla Wilson. 9th will be Joe Cohen. 10th, Jeffrey Stanton. Joshua Hart starts 11th, and rounding out the 12-car field we have today is J.D. Laird. We're going to double check one thing. It looks like we are all set. So race number 2 for the Legends. Apologies for having no race audio. Legends cars up next. Kikorian still showing his fast pace and doing the very, very great job at that. But as of right now, everyone's just waiting for everyone else to grid up. I believe the only driver that's left is Davey Scoville, but he has not gridded as of yet. There he is. So we are now getting ready to start this Legends event. Once again, this is scheduled for 35 laps. And as you have noticed, we are on the 1/3 mile instead of this time the half mile. So full field of 12 drivers will be taking it to the grid. Send your predictions in on who's going to win. You have everyone out of all of these drivers, and then plus 2 more. Scoville essentially shown by ATVO, at least having his lap time not count as a position, strangely enough, but nonetheless he is starting in the 5th place position. Pace car getting ready to pull off, and the field is in control of the 66 of Kikorian. Green flag is out, and already we're 3 wide in the back, in the middle of the pack, 4 wide. Entering turn number 1, somebody's on the apron, and this could not end well. Somehow it does, 3 wide between the 61, 76, 91. And contact between the 9 and the 88 looks like of Layla Wilson. 91, John Quinn goes around sideways. He falls back all the way to the last place position of 12th, unfortunately. So right now, Kikorian out in front, 2nd, Hoff, 3rd, Wilson. Davey Scoville in the number 9, trying to find some way around the outside, diving it into the corner, keeping that momentum as much as possible. Essentially, at the moment, it is not working too well, but to the inside goes the 61 of Cohen. Sorry, the 61 of Stanton. I believe we have a spin in the back, the 333 of J.D. Laird. The first caution of the day. Richard Orr will be let back on the lead lap. We'll be showing your replay here in just a few moments. See what happened to this 333 of J.D. Laird. I'm watching the replay, so it looks like the 15. If Brinksma may have gotten into him. No, he just got into it. He only did get into him, but that's trying to avoid. Not sure what had happened there. I'll be taking another look at that from a different camera angle. That was quite strange. And he made just ever so slightly very close contact with what looks like the 81 of Cohen. Yes, it was. So very, very close contact, but nonetheless, everyone is still going forward and still managing to continue on as best as possible. You see a size difference just from the pace car, that these cars are tiny, but that's what makes these interesting, though. Lights still on the pace car. Just a reminder, 2 more races up next. Mazda MX-5s, the mini stocks, and then the late model twin, the last one for 50 laps. Apologies if I do suddenly stop talking, but if you're like me, I've been doing live commentary for the past essentially almost combined 3 hours. Your voice would be gone too, so apologies if I do suddenly stop talking, but Don't worry, a rest will be coming in shortly, as you'll definitely, maybe, be running on board with these guys, but Legends are so exciting, and short track racing is so exciting in this case that there's no way you just can't commentate it, so we're going to enjoy this moment just like everyone else in the process. Pace car's not even off the track yet. Hello, goodness gracious. 3 wide already off the start, staggered 3 wide. Scoville lifts to the inside for the 3rd place position. Can't get anything done. 3 wide in the back. Quickly sorts itself out to 2 wide now. 2 wide for 2nd place. That's the 6 of... Is that the... Sorry, that's the 61 of Stanton on the outside. And very, very close contact and close racing. Joshua Hart just now leaving pit road, I believe. No, that's Richard Orr leaving pit road. Layla Wilson now in the number 88, trying to find their way around. Scoville comes down to the inside to protect and use that apron. Not letting that 88 try to get anywhere to the inside. Look how close Stanton is to the quarter panel of that number 9. Right now it seems to have sorted itself out to single file, but right now that quickly it turns away to essentially double file. Here comes John Quinn now for the 5th place position in the 60 and the 91 on the outside lane. Trying to find his way around the 88 of Wilson. Spin in the back. That's the 333 again, sideways. On his side was Joe Cohen. J.D. Laird running into more bad luck, but caution once again with 21 laps to go, essentially 22, just barely when the caution came out. Replay coming up on your screen. The 333 of Laird is running into a lot of bad luck lately. Replay up on your screen in just a few moments, as we will see what happened to the 333 of Joe Cohen. Sorry, J.D. Laird. And it just comes down, it's just a racing deal and miscommunication essentially, and Cohen nowhere to go. My goodness, I was going to flip over there for a second. That was very, very close. We're going to take another look at that from the onboard of Cohen. I would have to say, hang on everybody, because this is not going to, this is going to be quite interesting. A very interesting and fun, if you will, describe it that way. A fun ride, but essentially not fun in the very least for Cohen, as he's ran into unfortunate amount of bad luck lately. Onboard coming in just a few moments. It's on board of Joe Cohen. There we go. Goodness gracious. It was just the overcorrecting, so nothing really that Cohen could have done there. Quite unfortunate, but on the bright side, he is still going. And the pace car lights will stay on as of right now. Just a reminder, you're watching the Irwindale Sim Series, the official iRacing series of Irwindale Speedway, and producing exciting action as always. This is why I love short tracks, because it just produces a lot of excitement and short track racing as per usual. So the pace car lights will turn out this time around. Not sure what exactly is going on with our cameras. So we get our picture back up as of right now. This time by 15 laps to go. 15 lap shootout already on top of the back bumpers. The 61. Stanton. Stanton wants that 95 of Hoff to go. That's not going to happen, though, as Stanton gets a bad start. Scoville up to second. Green flag is back out. 3 wide in the back. Almost 3 wide. Side by side for what appears to be the 5th place position. Now 15 of Brinksma. Trying to recover from a subpar, essentially, race. And couldn't get to the inside. 3 wide in the back. Caution is going to come out here. As it looks like it's a 51 of Largan who got spun in the back. So we're going to find out what happened here. They were 3 wide, I saw, but unfortunately there was just not enough, essentially, real estate to have anything done, essentially. So, caution out once again. Replay up on the screen. 51 of Largan on the top side, and that's Cohen came up, unfortunately, trying to take a wider entry, and that caused a caution. Just one of those, again, just racing deals and trying to find space as quick as possible, as much as possible. That just wasn't the case. They tried to come down and get in front of the 81 to protect. Didn't happen. Fortunately, though, not a lot of damage, and he is still going, so nothing really majorly harmed, if you will, from that wreck. So 9 laps to go. At least I assume once we get the green. Depends on when the pace car lights go out, so we will see that this time by. It looks like we will have 8 laps to go when we hit the green. Essentially at 2 stints of 4. Room for at least 1 more caution up until lap number 5. John McQueen having some issues, as you can most likely tell. Pace car lights across the line will now shut off. An 8-lap shootout this time by. Oh boy. Well, David Kikorin is in first place. Second David Scoville. What Scoville has to do is essentially time the start as best as possible and maybe figure out some type of a way to get in front of Kikorin. But he's laying back. That's not going to help him out as much. Green flag is out, and Scoville didn't really get a good start. Kikorin, however, got a great start. But to the inside is Brandon Hoff for third, 3 wide in the back. That will quickly sort itself out, and almost contact for third place. Layla Wilson on the outside in the 88. Trying to get around Scoville. Now Layla Wilson will have Stanton onto the inside. Caution is out. This is going to be a very close shootout. Looks like to be the 51 of Largan again. And in the same spot, unfortunately. Trying to catch up to the back of the field as quick as possible. Not quite sure what happened there. And unfortunately, there was some retaliation going on, and that will definitely not go over with race control, so we will not be showing that as well. But you just have to remember that things happen, accidents happen that you can't really control, and well, this was definitely one of them. Looks like the 81 may have slid up. We couldn't tell from that camera angle. So of course we look at it from every angle possible. Looks like we have found the best one as of right now. Not sure if the 81 had slid up, but it'll take an onboard look as well. Again, we want to look at this from every angle possible. So onboard Joe Cohen. Cohen's not really at fault there. Again, just another racing deal. So unfortunately for Largan, as of right now, he's near the back, so possibly race control is just going to let him have just be a little bit frustrated. But of course, just showing displeasure. There's of course other ways, but you know, things do happen. But nonetheless, everyone is still on track. I mean quite literally everyone. Joshua Hart and Richard Orr included, and John Quinn, kind of. He's flashing in and out of existence here. So we're going to see this time by if we're going to get a shootout or not on board the pace car. 2 laps to go. This time by, lights will be out. This is going to be a 1-lap shootout. Oh boy, this is going to be quite interesting. I don't believe we need the laps remaining for this anymore, as this final restart is going to get very, very interesting. Pace car getting ready to escape the racetrack for its final time. Green is out. Kikorin down and away. Scoville under attack. About 95 of Hoff for second place. This is also the white flag. Side by side for second, as Kikorin will definitely come away with the win. Third place, they make contact. There, around goes the 61 of Stanton. He saves it on the inside, gets very loose, 4 wide practically for third place, and they wreck after the checkers. Heavy contact. Well, that was the 88 of Wilson. Nonetheless, Kikorin has come away with the win and a very congratulatory wreck. As oh goodness, well, 76 is going to have to visit the hospital for that one, or infield care center in this case. Or I guess in this case, the outfield care center. Nonetheless, a very exciting finish nonetheless. We will see who had placed where if we can. I don't believe we can, actually. I believe we can rewind. Yes, we can. Alright, we're good. This is why we have a start-finish line camera, hopefully somewhere. Shoot, we do not, unfortunately, but we do have a camera based on top of the flag stand, so that will also do us good, and then we will check out your finishing results. So this is about for second place. A little bit of contact, Stanton heavily sideways. Sorry, about for third place, I should say. Hoff makes it across the line first. Or in literal cases, second, and for third place, 4 wide almost. Goodness gracious, looks like 9:88, 61, 15. And that's what it looks like across your finishing results. As David Kikorin comes off with the win, once again, Brandon Hoff finishes second. Scoville, Wilson, Stanton, and Breeksma 4 wide for the finish of third place, no less. J.D. Laird comes home in 7th. Matthew Largan 8th, 9th Joe Cohen, and Joshua Hart rounding out the top 10. Quinn and John Quinn, Richard Orr also round out your field. 2 more races remain. It's going to get even better after this. So, Mazda MX-5s, the mini stocks will be up next for 30 laps. And we will see you in just a few moments, so stay tuned.
So, so, you So, you want to race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR Ignite Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
Well, unfortunately, minor technical issues. Going to see what exactly the problem is, and there it goes. Alright, we're good. Up next should be the Mazda MX-5s, the mini stocks. That has yet to start as of right now. So, of course, very, very exciting racing as of right now. However, that David Krikorian David Krikorian in this case has completely dominated the entire first two races so far, both the first late model twins and the second. So, of course, that Mazda MX-5 race will be starting in just a few moments. Has some technical issues, and there we go. So, yeah, unfortunately, those issues for John have delayed us ever so slightly, just a little bit. Nonetheless, though, the next session has gone up, so we will be able to get through with the Mazda MX-5 event. So, with the slight errors that John's been having, essentially internet errors, maybe at the moment, as of right now, I can possibly say that we may not have the late model tour. That's not for me to say. So, you know, internet though, it comes and goes once in a while. It goes at the most unexpected time, and then it works when you want it to. So, essentially, as of right now, I can say that we will definitely be still going through with the second late model twin event, unless I am told otherwise. That's pretty much what I'm going with. So next session, going to be starting in just a few moments. It's going to be great to see these MX-5s on, once again, another short track. Is absolutely amazing to watch those drivers completely pretty much use a car that is not built for that kind of racetrack, but somehow it works for that kind of racetrack. Gotta love short track racing. So while we wait, we're just listen to this for a while, but of course getting into the session as of right now. So no problems as of right now. So 30 laps for the Mazda MX-5s, as we have about 7 minutes remaining in the practice session. Honestly, I can't wait to see these drivers again. Pretty much put out an amazing performance. Hello, that was a weird freeze. So unfortunately, John is, as of right now, unable to race. But we still do have a very great car count of, appears to be 9 drivers just by not even looking at this, just by glancing at the timing charts that we have as of right now. And correction, that will now be 10 drivers. Joshua Hart to the top of the board in practice as of right now. Great job by him to use that draft, and this is going to be another factor to play into this race as he'll pull off. We got Thomas Powell making his own laps. Of practice while I rest my voice for the next about 5 to 7 minutes. So of course I will still be here controlling the cameras, just giving the voice a bit of a rest. So enjoy some practicing here from the onboard. Oh my goodness, Layla Wilson, that is an amazing paint scheme right there. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. So practice has now ended, and we'll be heading now over to the qualifying session. Nope, scratch that. There's a problem over on my end, actually, so here we go. Qualifying just about to start anyway, nonetheless. In about 15-20 seconds time. Of course, we will go over a statistics update, if you will, on David Krikorian, how many wins he has. As of today, quite literally today, he's won 2 races. Previous results as well. I believe he also won 3 other races, though, so that would be 5 total in the process of the past, essentially, 2 events that we've had. Yep, that is 1 layered one last week. As well, win number 2 for Krikorian. So Dave Krikorian with 3 wins, 5 wins total, I should say. Everyone's starting to put in their qualifying time. I'd like to thank everyone once again for tuning in to this Irwindale Speedway Sim Series, the Irwindale Speedway Official Sim Series. As now David Krikorian will be going out to start his lap time. I noticed on the practice charts that he was about 9th place. Essentially, I believe this is the same division last week where he met his match and couldn't win a division. So he'll be starting his lap time as of right now. We'll find out where he places on the board. Where it says currently, that's what we'll find out across the line this time around. 5th place. That's not too bad. A 15.455. If he can improve on that this time around. There's the question across the line once again. 15.394. That moves him up to the top 3. So he was close. Essentially, 15.399. Looks like that's about 2 100ths actually, 0.02 seconds off the lead driver, which is Brandon Hoff. So qualifying should pretty much be over in just a few moments, so while we have the chance, here is your starting grid for this race. And once again, technical errors. Always like to have fun with these. So we will be working through these and we'll give you your starting grid in just a few moments. As Davey Scoville once again decides to start his lap a little bit later than everybody else. Trying to stall at the time, making sure that everyone else is setting their lap times. Scoville just now starting his timing lap. Apologies for no picture, but just wanted to make sure add or overlay just a little bit. Scoville, however, comes across the line at the moment in 9th place. He has one more chance to try and better that lap time, and unfortunately he does not. Previous lap times, his best lap time 15.543. His last lap time, his final lap time, was a 15.739. So qualifying should be over in just a few seconds. And as of right now, trying to work out the errors of our starting grid. Quite unsure of what they are, so we'll reset our overlay. Working through this as best as possible. Everything should be coming back up here in just a few moments. So starting in the first place position will be the number 9 of Brendan Haas. Starting to his upside is J.D. Laird once again. Starting third is David Kikorian. Joshua Hart starts in the fourth place position. Rounding out the top 5, Matthew Largan. Richard Orr starts to his outside on 6th. 7th, Thomas Powell. 8th is going to be Jeffrey Stanton. 9th, Davey Scoville. And 10th, Layla Wilson. Joe Cohen rounds out your 11-car field by not putting in a lap time. So this is 35 laps. Or sorry, 30 laps. My mistake, in the mini stocks, or in other words, the Mazda MX-5s. So essentially 80 more laps in this broadcast will remain, as we have yet to start this event in particular, at least this race in particular. And everyone is on the grid as of right now. We will be rolling off for the first of 2 pace laps. For the start of this race, we'll be riding on board with Joe Cohen. Apparently we are getting word that it's actually an extra 5 laps, so 35 laps makes it even though. So we have 50, 35, 35, and 50 in terms of the racing here tonight. So that works out. So 5 extra laps for the night in the Mazda MX-5s. Pace car getting ready to pull off the track. Green flag is out. 35 laps here in the Mazda MX-5s. The mini stocks, as Brendan Hoff gets a great start. Side by side for second place, Kikorian on the inside in that light blue. Now, as they can see how quickly he was on and off the brake for a moment. He didn't even break into the middle of the corner there when he was right up against the back bumper. Joshua Hart now to the inside, trying to find his way around Kikorian. Brendan Hoff, meanwhile, is just casually pulling away, enjoying this lead that he has for the moment. So right now, trying to make a dive to the outside was Davey Scoville. Nope, scratch that actually. That was the number, I believe, the 6 of Jeffrey Stanton. And on the back bumper was the 11 of Powell on Largan, entering turns 1 and 2. Battle for a third underway, and you can see Largan trying to make his way to the inside and get past that 66. But look at who's almost on top of the back bumper. That is Powell. He'll make his Powell will now currently be up in 5th place position, now in 4th place, as he makes his way around Kikorian, who's getting shuffled back. So unfortunately that 2-race win streak will be snapped as of right now. Back to our original 30 laps to go. Extra 5 laps just makes this race all the more exciting. Battling in the back, Layla Wilson trying to fend off the Davey Scoville machine. The number 12 almost makes contact on the front straightaway. J.D. Laird having some problems, unfortunately, but nonetheless, Scoville trying to get to the inside, possibly contact entering the corner there. That sent Wilson up the track, and luckily Wilson will hang on to that. So right now, David Kikorian stuck in the 5th place, but Brandon Hoff has been leading all the laps that we have completed so far, all 8 laps. I believe we are working lap number 8, starting to come to lap number 9 this time around. Joshua Hart second, third. Caution on the raceway over in turns 3 and 4. That's a 43 of Layla Wilson once again, unfortunately. We'll see what had happened there. It looks like entering turns 3 and 4 just snapped loose somehow in the back straightaway. Not sure how that happened, honestly, but you never know. Sometimes some things can go wrong, and next thing you know, mechanical failure possibly. Or in most cases, hardware failure. Looks like Wilson will be pulling it into pit road. So 35 laps here, 10 of which are complete. In the Mazda MX-5s, the mini stocks. Apologies for a current lack of picture as of right now. Trying to make sure our cameras are 100% working and in the correct place for viewing reasons, I guess is what it could be titled. So Brendan Hoff, 1st place. 2nd, Joshua Hart. 3rd, Matthew Largan. Thomas Powell in 3rd place. 4th, David Kikorian. Thomas Powell in 4th place. 5th, David Kikorian. 6th is Stanton. Richard Orr is in 7th. 8th, Davey Scoville. 9th, Joe Cohen. 10th, Layla Wilson, who was unfortunately lapped down. J.D. Laird, I believe he either missed the grid or he just didn't get going properly, as he is 2 laps down. Lights on the caution lights essentially all around the track are now out. We have a 21 lap shootout as of right now. Green flag getting ready to be thrown, and it is back out and underway. Somebody's trying to make a move on the outside. That's Davey Scoville in number 12. That is, of course, a legal move. You are allowed to pass on the outside before the start-finish line. Scoville up to 7th now off that restart. Looking to the inside for the lead was, looking to the inside for 2nd was Matthew Largan. Had to check up ever so slightly in the middle of turns 1 and 2. 20 laps to go, coming to 19 laps to go this time by. And on top of the back bumper is going to be that's actually Thomas Powell. You can see how close he is to that number 11. Essentially bum drafting, but short track. It's almost pushing him through the corner. Almost hits him again. Or bumps him again is what I should be using. But to the inside for second place is Matthew Largan, as Joshua Hart is going to get semi-freight trained out of the way here. Falls back to third as of right now, but he's got a whole line of cars on the inside. Hanging on great to that outside lane, though, is that number 7. Side by side in the back, or at least it was crossover from Stanton on Scoville. Couldn't get it to happen. So right now, Stanton and Scoville side by side, as you see the battle for Central, I believe, will be 4th place. Still taking place, battle for 2nd now, 2 different positions. Scoville with the crossover this time, 3 wide, as Powell makes his way by. Closing in on the end of this race. An unscheduled 35 laps out of a scheduled 30 laps. And look at how close that Scoville was, cutting off the nose of the 43 to the inside door contact on the front straightaway to Stanton. That forces Stanton almost up the racetrack. Wilson tried to dive it into the inside. Unfortunately, could not make it happen. A little bit of a bump from the 6, saying, hey, I'm not very happy about that. Battle for 2nd going on as well in the process. Battle for 3rd, I should say. Kikorian trying to get back up to 3rd, as and the number 43 is, of course, 1 lap down, unfortunately. Would be running about 5th or 6th right now. Almost contact. The battle seems to have sorted itself out for that 6th place position. Side by side for 2nd between Joshua Hart and Kikorian. 10 laps to go. This time by for the number 9 of Brandon Hoff. Thomas Powell up in 2nd. Should be on the left-hand side of the screen, or at least the bottom left-hand side. Entering turn number 3 here in just a few moments. There he is, just barely bottom of your screen. Kikorian getting shuffled back as of right now. Trying to use the outside lane, but unfortunately this isn't the 1/2 mile. We can use the outside lane, and everything is, well, that's pretty much the preferred lane. Look at Davey Scoville. He's made his way back up. He's made his way up, I should say, to almost the top 5. He's in 6th place right now. Can't really get anything done as of right now. He's got 2 drivers in front of him, taking up both lanes. Six laps to go, this time around for the number 9 of Brandon Hoff. Powell up in 2nd, and Joshua Hart cleared his way out to 3rd. Still side by side for 4th, as Scoville in the number 12 trying to figure out where to go. 66 of Kikorian, that light blue and white Mazda MX-5, and then we have Matthew Largan in the number 1, that orange, white, and black on the low side. Closest to the screen, closest to the bottom of the screen, I should say. And then Scoville in the pink car, trying to figure out some way to get in to this battle, and almost turns Kikorian coming off turn number 4. Quite unintentionally, no doubt. We saw how hard the cars pushed up in the Legends race. Not a lot, but just visible enough. Kikorian door contact on the front straightaway. That would have been a close finish for 5th across the line there. 3 laps to go for Brandon Hoff. That 43 is a lap down, unfortunately. Still contact. That sends Kikorian way up the racetrack with 2 laps to go. For the 5th place position, he'll dive it back into the corner, maybe under the 43. 43 looking to get under the number 12. Not sure why, but for Brandon Hoff, he may be getting his first win this time by. He'll just have to make it 2 more corners, and he will come home the winner of your Mazda MX-5 division, the street mini stocks, I should say. Brandon Hoff. 2nd and 3rd, Powell and Hart. Largan makes his way around Davey Scoville and heavy into the wall. I think that was Largan. Yep. Congratulatory bump, I'll say that. And again. Just their way of being congratulatory. It'll be that battle for 5th place came out to Davey Scoville, as coming across the line turned out to be the number 9 of Brandon Hoff, who is currently burning it down the front straightaway. Trying his best as he can. So Brandon Hoff finishes in 1st place, getting his first win this week, I should say, for this event. Thomas Powell comes home in 2nd. 3rd place, Joshua Hart. 4th will be Matthew Largan. Davey Scoville finishes in 5th. Finishing in 6th place. Finishing in the 6th place position is David Kikorian, after unfortunately not figuring out how to drive the Mazdas to a win yet, the MX-5s and mini stocks, but hopefully he will be able to do that soon, and that way he can sweep all the divisions. But maybe he may have met his match, at least 5 of them so far tonight. Jeffrey Stanton finishes in 7th. 8th, Richard Orr. Joe Cohen rounds out your 9th place position. Layla Wilson finishes in 10th. And then J.D. Laird comes home 2 laps down, but he still finishes the race in the 11th place position. Coming up just after this will be your 2nd late model twin. And as my voice is starting to go, just barely making it to the end of this, as we will see if David Kikorian can take home the win for a 3rd time here tonight. So stay tuned, don't go away, as we have another 50 laps of late models left on the board for the half mile, your 2nd late model twin event here tonight. You're watching the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. This is the Irwindale Speedway Official Sim Series. Once again, just as a reminder for our upcoming races, most recently on Sunday at 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the My Turn Racing League going up at Gateway in the nighttime under the lights for 75 laps. It's going to be absolutely exciting. That is their truck series as well. And then right up after that on Tuesday, at about 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, will be the Roaring Thunder Racing League as they roar into the Rockingham Speedway for 133 laps. Can Jeremy Horn extend his winning streak to 3 weeks in a row? That will be the question. And then the day right after that, Wednesday, goodness gracious, the day after that, will be the AMS Octane Race Products Dirt Series for their finale race 14-14. That's roughly an estimated time of, as you can see, possibly at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, depending on how long their practice session will be. And then, of course, the Irwindale Speedway Official Sim Series returns once again here on July 11th. Just 1 week after the July 4th Independence Day. I believe it will be also a back-to-back weeks in the process. So that's something definitely to look forward to. Meanwhile, late model practice is underway for now. It should be wrapping up in just a few moments. Give you an official timestamp, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and counting down. Once again, this is our last race of the evening, as we will have another 50 laps up on the board. And hopefully, through all of this, my voice can survive this. But nonetheless, it will be able to. So we are just waiting for the qualifying session to get underway in just a few moments. About 1 minute 45 seconds. 9 drivers will take to the field, so I assume that we will have another caution-free super late model race. We almost had a caution last time. The last time we did this at the beginning of the night. That was a really close call. I believe it was with, I'm not sure. I don't believe it was Layla Lewis, so it definitely was not. I believe driver number 15, so most likely not. Nonetheless, 50 laps for the last event here. It's going to be very, very exciting. As next time we come back here for Irwindale Speedway, the official sim series on the 11th. You'll also have an goodness. It will also have an action-packed night. So give the schedule out here in just a few moments and see what we have in store for the 11th of July. That is, of course, 2 weeks from now. We would have done every other week, but unfortunately, if we did that, we would be falling on Independence Day, July 4th. So, unfortunately, we will not be racing on the 4th of July. Fortunately, we will have a race on the 12th, so the 11th. And of course, I believe, double checking as of right now, we will have a back-to-back weeks. And the answer to that is yes, we will. So, July 11th, a schedule for that night. We'll have the K&N Pro night. So the K&N Pro cars, the late models, the legends, and a figure 8 race to end out the night. It's going to be very, very exciting for that. And then the weekly racing series once again starts back up. As this, well, pretty much tonight and the last race we did 2 weeks ago was also a weekly racing series. So late model twins once again, legends, and an endurance event, which I believe will be the NASCAR Class 5, the mini stock division. This qualifying is currently underway. And then, of course, we have 3 races in August, 2 races in September, and then the final race in October on the 10th. So, mark your calendars for July 11th, July 18th, August 1st, August 15th, August 29th, September 12th, September 26th, and October 10th for 7:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, which is most likely going to change once Daylight Savings switches back over, so that's going to be fun. And the last qualifying currently underway. J.D. Laird setting in his lap time as of right now. He will cross the line and he will be at first across the board. Looks like he is slowing down and he will not complete his second lap at full speed. Brendan Hoff, second place, must have spun out, I believe. Or he's just taking extra qualifying time. Extra time to practice, I should say. So David Kikorian at the moment not up on top of the board as of yet. Kikorian, Scoville, who is what we're currently watching right now. Who we are currently watching right now. Looks like he will decide to take another run at that. Wants to get that run as best as possible. I believe this will be his one and only attempt as well. So Scoville, Kikorian, David Scoville, David Kikorian, and John Quinn, Joe Cohen have yet to set lap time right now. Goodness, that was close to the outside wall. That stresses me out, and I'm just sitting up here in the booth. Ugh. Scoville going to come across the line, finish his lap this time by, and it will be good enough for a 4th place position. 2 minutes remain. Neither Quinn, Kikorian, or Cohen have made a move yet out of pit road. So 9 drivers will take to the grid for tonight's late model twin event. No moves as of yet for the last 3 drivers. And unfortunately for John Quinn, he had to mechanical failures again, and basically internet, if you will. So he will not be able to race, unfortunately, for the 4th time tonight. So Cohen and Krikorian are both here. They just have not. I don't think they've decided to set qualifying time, so they will decide to set it in the final seconds of qualifying. Quickest lap run here was a 17.642 set by J.D. Laird as of Prince's qualifying session, and 40 seconds remain in qualifying. I don't think Krikorian, Cohen, I think those two will be qualifying, interestingly enough. So apparently it could be through essentially strategy for Krikorian or Cohen, but 15 seconds remain. They will definitely not have time to set qualifying time. So we will go over your starting grid in just a few moments' time as qualifying wraps up. You'll be showing your starting grid as of right now. Starting in first place will be the number 70 of J.D. Laird. Brendan Hoff starts to his outside, essentially almost an entire tenth off of JD's lap time. So JD may be picking up his second win as of right now. May be picking up his win. Matthew Largan starts in third place. Scoville starts in fourth. Fifth, we will see Thomas Powell round out the top five. Layla Wilson starts in sixth. Seventh, Dave Krikorian. Eighth, well, essentially eighth will be Joe Cohen, as John Quinn unfortunately has not gotten those errors sorted out. So for your main event of the evening, and also essentially your starting event, just at a different time, this is the late models, which will be starting up in just a few moments once everybody gets to the grid. Still waiting for, I believe, Davey Scoville, and then we will be underway for 50 laps for the last time here tonight. And unfortunately, David Krikorian, given an EOL penalty, either by himself or it could be a reason that he did not make it through quote-unquote tech inspection through qualifying. So we'll put it like that, and David Krikorian will be starting in the 8th place position. 50 laps in late models. I predict that J.D. Laird may be picking up his second win. Heavy emphasis on the word may, well, on the words may be. We'll be finding out who is where in just a few moments. Final pace lap for the night, possibly, as J.D. Laird will be bringing the field to the green flag here for last time tonight. Pace car pulls out to the safety of pit road, half-mile short track racing for the second time, starting off, or ending how we started off, 50 laps in the late models. Green is out and we are underway. Right to the inside, 51 of Matthew Largan up to third right now. To the inside, Davey Scoville, who almost brushes the outside wall coming off turn number 2. 11 down to the inside. That's Thomas Powell on the back bumper now to 51. Largan makes his way by up to third place. Side by side, a little bit of door contact in the process between the 11 and the 9 through turns 1 and 2. And a little bit of contact to the 51 of Largan. Largan still keeps that car going forward and straight, so essentially we will not be seeing any problems with Largan. Nope, never mind. Scratch that. Davis Scoville, I believe, just gave him a little bit of a tap. There goes with that 66 of Kikorian to the inside. Already up to what is now 5th place. In essentially 3 laps. Kikorian trying to make his way through the field on the inside. But right now, J.D. Laird in first. 2nd place, Brandon Hoff. Half a second behind, and that's slowly rising as J.D. Laird makes his way through. Contact, there goes the 66 of Kikorian around 1 and only caution so far. Just a quick 360 spin for Kikorian. And that was just, that was essentially just a quick spin and running out of real estate right there. Very, very close racing here today so far, and essentially pretty much our only caution in the late models as of today. Looks like Kikorian may have tried to move up the track, or move down the track and try and protect that position that he had at the time. I'll be taking another look at that from a chopper camera. 11 tries to move down, and nope. Just misjudged the space, it seems. So Kikorian now up in, well, back, I should say, in the 7th place position as a result of that first caution. J.D. Laird with a comfortable first place lead so far. He has been leading all 7 laps. Going to complete that 7th lap lead this time around. It's going to be that number 70. Should be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. Lights are still active. 41 laps to go. We get the 1 to go, and we will be going green with 40 laps to go. .40 laps to go when we get the green, as the pace car is already pulled off. J.D. Laird in control of the field. He's down and away. Halfway sideways was the 51 of Largan. He'll fall back on the inside lane. However, still 3 wide now. Looks like Largan's going to back out of that predicament that he put himself into. J.D. Laird somehow fell back to 3rd already. Into the inside, Thomas Powell now. I think J.D. Laird may have gotten loose, actually. Maybe moved out of the way. Looks like Laird, looks like the 11 was into the outside wall through the back straightaway. Maybe that was the number 9 to Scoville. Nonetheless, Kikorian up to 4th as of right now. Trying to defend that position is the 11 of Powell. It's not going to work. They almost make contact coming off of turn number 2. Brendan Hoff currently in the lead right now, the number 7. J.D. Laird breathing down his neck right behind him, and David Krikorian is breathing down both their necks. The 9 was sideways off turn number 2. To the inside for the lead is going to be J.D. Laird. That's just going to leave the door open for the 66 of Krikorian, should he choose to make it 3 wide. Depends if he will or not. J.D. Laird back up into the lead, taking it back from Brendan Hoff. Hoff under attack from Krikorian in the 66. Scoville to the inside for 4th place, can't get it done. Krikorian up to 2nd right now. Battle for 4th place. Scoville trying to get up to that 4th place position. He does for the moment. As 2nd place, he sorts himself out. Krikorian to 2nd, Hoff to 3rd. Scoville makes his way up to 4th. So J.D. Laird, David Krikorian, Brandon Hoff, 1, 2, and 3. Right now, trying to defend that 5th place position is Thomas Powell, but unfortunately for Powell, he's going to make contact coming out turn number 2. There's one of the reasons. Another reason is that he just doesn't have the momentum as of yet. It does take a while to get used to it. Especially riding the top side, almost pretty much Darlington style, right next to the wall. Loose off turn number 2 was that 11 into the outside wall, just barely before that wall break, wall opening on the back straightaway. Could have been a lot worse for that number 11 machine. Loose again off turn number 2 ever so slightly. Right now for 1st place, under fire is J.D. Laird. J.D.'s got to play a very, very defensive lane as 30 laps to go. This could fall back into the hands of the 66 of Krikorian. So he started last, essentially, and got spun out, a quick 360 spin. Got sent back to about 7th. Now he's up to 2nd. Challenging for the lead. Lap time comparison right here. Krikorian, well, let's see right now. Krikorian, I don't think we even need it now. Here comes Krikorian to the inside off turn number 4. Okay, we may need the lap time comparison now. So J.D. Laird, 18.290, 18.256, 0.03 seconds faster, 3/100ths faster. We'll keep this graphic up on your screen. Still looking to the inside is that number 66. Almost identical lap times, 18.27 across the board, aside from what appears to be that 7/1000th of a second quicker is J.D. Laird. This time around, we'll see what the times come in at. Now official as of yet, 18.246, 18.267. But looks like Krikorian now finally makes his way to the inside with 26 laps to go, coming to 25 to go. He will be taking the lead away from J.D. Laird. Nope, loose off on the inside. Got to try it again. Halfway this time by for that 66 of Krikorian. Laird doing a great job holding him off. He did qualify on the pole, number 70 of Laird. We would take a look at any other battles brewing on the track. Loose off on the top side was that 70. That may be what cost him this race. We'll find out. To the inside is the 66. Momentum as of right now down the back straightaway, using that inside lane. Trying to, J.D. Laird actually using a little bit of a lower lane. Krikorian finally stuck with the inside lane this time by. J.D. Laird trying to defend on that top side. It's not going to work out as of right now. Even down the back straightaway, almost making contact. About 3 feet separated them. Side by side, and loose on the inside again was a 66. Laird barely makes contact with the outside wall. On the front straightaway, hello, almost getting turned, was that number 70. No other close battles on the track, essentially as of right now. We have a brewing battle for 4th place, the 9 of Skull and the 51 of Largan. To the inside, however, off the corner, protecting that inside lane. It's number 70. He lets the outside open, though. That's going to cost him this lead as of right now. J.D. Laird let the inside lane open. He'll use the inside lane this time around. And tries to slide job, not going to work. Now it does. Loose off to the loose off on the outside is Krikorian. He is loose off. He is pushing that car as hard as he can. It is just not working out. 20 laps to go. 19 when we cross the line. That 66 is determined to get the win. Once again, he won the first 20 heat for that 50-lap event. For those first 50 laps. Right now, Krikorian trying to figure out something, some way, somehow to get to the lead. This time by across the line. No, it was still J.D. Laird at the line at the very least. But half a car length advantage off turn number 2. This may be the race for that. Nope, never mind. It's not. It's Krikorian. Drops back ever so slightly. This could be the move for the win off turn number 4. Clearing J.D. Laird ever so slightly in turns 1 and 2. Laird fights back on that outside lane, however. Still trying to get to that win. Still trying to break that streak that the 66 has in the late models. Is that number 70? 16 laps to go. Side by side, none of these drivers are giving up. If we had split screen, we'd be showing this other battle for what appears to be 4th place, but right now, side by side, none of these drivers giving a single inch right now. A driver comparison between these two drivers. Of course, it is swapped right now down the front straightaway. Look how close these two drivers are racing side by side. Oh my goodness. Look at this, 18.400, 18.433, and yet they're still side by side. Oh my goodness, across the line, this time by will be possibly Krikorian. Couldn't tell that time around from that camera angle specifically. A little bit of contact, J.D. Laird uses a lower lane. Look at these lap times. Scoville faster that time around, but wait a second. Scoville's faster than Laird, uh-oh. Scoville's faster than both of these drivers, ever so slightly. I don't think he'll have enough time to catch up, though. A lot of traffic in front of them. This could be Joe Cohen. It will be. Uh-oh. This could play into effect for this race. Laird's loose off the turn. Hang down the back straightaway now. Krikorian finally makes his way in front of the 70. Will 70 make a crossover attempt? Not yet. 12 laps to go. Now he makes a crossover attempt into turn 1. A late crossover by crossover. Still no dice. J.D. Laird, I think Krikorian has just a little bit of competition with the 70 of Laird. Is it constant competition? Definitely. We saw how fierce those two were battling side by side every single lap for about, what, 5-10 laps? 10 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. It may just be Krikorian's race. J.D. Laird's last lap time was 2/10 slower, unfortunately. So this win, although putting up a great fight with J.D. Laird, Krikorian from pretty much last to first, while being 7th, somewhere in between, still makes his way up to first place throughout all of this, and he may come home with the win. I say it may because implications may be happening at any point, so not calling it official yet, but 8 laps to go. Officially, 8 laps to go. It's a 66 of Krikorian as he'll make the inside pass, and a little bit loose was Layla Wilson, the 12. That, no doubt, definitely scared the 66 of David there. That would be scaring me too. That would be scaring me too. I would have dived to the inside right away. 7 laps to go. I would have dived all the way to the apron to be safe. And almost into the quarter panel, but timing it right. There's a 12 coming back up on the track, nice and safe. This essentially is the distance, with 6 laps remaining for David Krikorian. Loose off, you can tell from that onboard camera. 5 laps to go. A battle for the 3rd place position. Look at Matthew Largan trying to get to the outside lane for 3rd. Scoville trying to hold him off. One exciting battle to another. Double checking on David Krikorian. We're good there. J.D. Laird 2nd, 3rd. Scoville 4th. Largan, that's the 9 and the 51 respectively. I believe last 2 weeks ago, the 51 made a late race pass ever so slightly, or attempted to in the end of the 4th. So he will be trying to get up to 3rd place this time by loose off the corner. Was that number 9, Scoville? There's still 2nd. 4 laps to go. 3 laps actually. Wow, heavily loose off was that number 9. Down to the inside goes Matthew Largan. Door contact in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Really loose off, diving up to the outside, and essentially a huge crossover from Scoville. Lighting up those right front brake pads. They make contact again. Around goes the 51. This could be the end of the race. That is the end of the race. And, oh, no. Who was that? Is that the 81 of Joe Cohen? He was. He was a lot down, unfortunately. But that will be the end of the race. Under caution, 2nd caution of the night for the super late models. The final lap under yellow for David Krikorian. Where is the pace car? In a completely irrelevant position. So David Krikorian, under caution, will come home to win once again the 2nd Super Late Model Twin event here in the Irwindale Irwindale Speedway official sim series. Ooh. Scoville ends up 3rd, and everyone's just having celebratory demolition derby again. Nope. Almost got the 12. Come on, Scoville, you got this. Get the 12. Come on, get Layla Wilson. You got this. Or not. All right. That's a nice drift. So Krikorian will come home with the win once again. Scoville bringing it down on the front straightaway again for finishing in 3rd. J.D. Laird parks at the start-finish line for 2nd. That was almost very expensive. Well, now it's expensive. And then we'll burn it down for 3rd place. We will show you your finishing results. David Krikorian, J.D. Laird, Davey Scoville, Brendan Hoff, and Thomas Powell, your top 5. Matthew Largan finishes in 6th, unfortunately, 1 lap down. Layla Wilson also a lap down, same with Joe Cohen. John Quinn having some mechanical issues, essentially airnet issues, and did not start this race. It will show you what happened for that caution, because that was essentially exciting and very close racing. It was so close that, in fact, it was just a bit too close, and unfortunately, caution came out. But fortunately for David Krikorian, though, he finished the race in the lead, and essentially, he came home with the win. We have to show you these final 3 laps, the final 2 laps, essentially, because, oh my goodness, Scoville and Largan, I want to see those two battle out all day. Just on lap number 48 with 3 laps to go. 9 gets loose, dives to the inside, lining up the front brake rotors, slides up into the 51 contact, spins the 51 out to the point where, well, he had to back it up to get back onto the track. The caution was already out at that point. Unfortunately for Joe Cohen, he got a huge piece of that. Luckily, he does manage to finish the race. Unfortunately for the number 51, there's the 66 going by. Not sure how essentially close that was, or if it was just either at the line or not. So we will be figuring that out as of right now. So it's going to take a while, as we are playing 1/16th of a replay speed. So this could take a while. You can see the caution lights, however. Look at how bright those are. Okay, there's the 51. And then here comes David Krikorian on the top side. Just barely hidden. Perfect timing. Perfect moving right there. That is essentially great timing. 51 photobombing, essentially. Nonetheless, congratulations to David Krikorian on another one once again. Absolutely amazing racing here. So, of course, before we wrap it up, we want to remind you that on Sunday, once again, The My Turn Racing Truck Series heads to Gateway for 75 laps under the lights. So it's going to be quite a long race. Along with on the Tuesday, this race for My Turn Racing at 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time, which I believe would be 12:50 Pacific. And then on the 26th, Tuesday, we'll showcase the Roaring Thunder Racing League as they head down into Rockingham in... Oh goodness, that's just sad. I forgot where Rockingham was located. I hope it's Virginia. No, it's not. Hold on a second. Just want to double check this. Just wanted to double check this. North Carolina, of course. Oh my goodness, that is just sad. Right, Rockingham, North Carolina. And then after that, the day directly after that as well, it will be the AMS Octane Race Products Dirt Series, racing for possibly at 30 or 50 laps at roughly about 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That is subject to change. And then the Irwindale Sim Series is back on July 11th after a 2-week break, both for next week as per usual, and then the 4th of July. So we will be seeing you on Sunday in the middle of the day, essentially, for the My Turn Racing Truck Series Gateway for their second week of the season. So we thank you all for watching, and we will see you on Sunday.